Where is the carbon plate? Does this shoe even have a carbon plate? Why can I do this? So today we're gonna look at the Skechers Razor 3 Elite. Let's see how the shoe performs. I took it up for an 11K run yesterday, and there's my run. I've had this shoe for about 2 weeks and I put in about 56 kilometers or about 35 miles into the shoe. Here are my initial thoughts. Let's first talk about the specs. There's a 4mm drop, 28mm in the heel and 24 in the forefoot. It weighs about 170 grams, so it's really lightweight. This is in my US size 10, UK 9, Euro 44. The price is $155 US, which is about 150 pounds or 128 euros. The upper is made of a engineered mono mesh, which is really lightweight with no structure at all built in. The only real support built into the upper is a bit of a fabric in the heel counter, but otherwise it's pretty structureless. The colorway is absolutely gorgeous. I love the orange and blue colors, which really stands out. The shoelaces is quite thin and they're a bit elastical. Unfortunately, there's no possibility for a runner's knot in this shoe. I personally had a good fit, but it's obvious that due to the low weight, there's absolutely no stability built into the upper. It's very floppy to the feel. I don't own any other carbon plated shoes where I can do this quite easily. The midsole is made of Skechers Hyper Burst material, which is actually quite cushioned, and I really like it. The shoe uses the M-Strike technology, which really helps with the gait cycle when you run. This really isn't a carbon plated shoe like many of the other racing shoes have. Skechers uses what they call a carbon infused plate in the forefoot, and I'm not quite sure where they actually put it. This should give the shoe a more of a snappy feel in those higher paces, even though I personally actually didn't feel the carbon plate very much. To the outsole. The outsole features the Goodyear rubber, which we also know for many of the Adidas shoes. I actually really like the grip of the shoe. I put it through some road and gravel and some trail, and even though there was some wet pavement, I actually had a really good grip. So what's the verdict? Well, I'm not quite sure. For the positives, the shoe weighs absolutely nothing, and I really like the fit and the ground contact feel that the shoe gives me. It's built like a razor and it feels fast. It performs very well at those tempo threshold paces, which for me absolutely is slow compared to many of the other shoe tubers, but I actually like the comfort and the fit very much. I've had a couple of runs in this shoe. I've put it to the test on the treadmill, and I did a half marathon, and yesterday I did an 11K run. In my opinion, the shoe is built more for the 5K or 10K distances. You can take it up to the half marathon distance, but I wouldn't recommend going longer than that. For those longer distances, I actually miss some of the cushioning that are available in many of the other tempo race day shoes. If the stack height had been just a bit more, maybe in the 30s, I actually feel that this shoe could compete with the other Tempo Day or race day shoes out there. The 4mm drop could be increased to maybe a 6 or an 8 to give the shoe more of a competitive advantage over the other higher end shoes out there. For me, on those first runs in the shoe, I could actually feel that the material in the upper could bend a little and cause some discomfort to my foot. But after putting around 30 k's in the shoe, that actually went away. On yesterday's run, I didn't feel any discomfort at all. Another thing to consider is that the blue dye that Skechers has used in this shoe can actually bleed through when the shoe gets wet and causing some transfer to the socks I'm using. So if you have a expensive pair of white socks, you should consider not using this shoe. For the price point of this shoe, I think the shoe is absolutely a steal. Compared to many of the other race day competitive shoes, I know that this doesn't perform as well, but for the price point, I think that you're actually getting a really good shoe with a good ground contact, but I do miss some of that snappy toe-off feeling that I get in some of the other high-end shoes. Considering it's supposed to be a race day shoe, I think it lacks a bit and can't quite compete. In my personal opinion, I'd still pick up the Saucony Endorphin Speed of the Pro or the New Balance RC Elite before I pick up this shoe for a race. But keep in mind, those shoes are a bit more expensive than this shoe, so for the price point, I think you're getting a really good ground contact feel, snappy, fast shoe for a good price. I do miss a more snappy toe-off feeling, considering that this shoe is built for a race day shoe. So this is absolutely a contender for those that wants a snappy feeling with a good ground contact for a tempo or threshold day shoe, but not wanting to overspend on some of the higher end shoes out there. And compared to my initial thoughts when I first ran in the shoe, I actually think that it performs even better the more miles I put in it. I'm beginning to like the shoe more and more the more I run in it, and I think it's actually a good tempo day shoe. I wouldn't personally wear it for a race day. I have many other shoes that I think perform better than this one, but I think that if you don't want to overspend on a higher end shoe, this is absolutely a steal. I give this shoe a 7.5 out of 10. Being a bit of a shoe freak, I actually own quite a lot of those higher end shoes, so let me know down in the comments which one of those you want me to review next time. I hope you liked this review, and I like to see you subscribing and liking this video. And remember, running is not just for the elites, it's for the everyday guys and girls, so please get out there and run.